Yeah, my name is Preston, and I drive a 2012 C63 AMG Edition1.
It's freedom, freedom real.
Yeah, so it's got plenty of mods on it. You know, it's a base C63 with the Edition1 pack. It's got long tube headers on it, a Eurocharge tune, full straight pipe. It's making about like 490 to the wheel.
490
Yeah.
I know earlier you told us it was Edition1, right?
Yes, correct.
And can you tell us like what it comes with, or
Yeah.
to like the other ones?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, so they make coupes and sedans in the Edition1. The sedan that we have here, it's a Designo Magno Allanite Gray matte paint with the interior with contrast stitching with a couple different badges on it. It's basically what makes an Edition1 so desirable, I guess, is the matte paint. You know, there's only about 60 of these in the U.S., so they're quite rare.
How long have you had this car?
I've had it for about 2.5 years, you know, so it's getting up there, you know. We're trying to put as much miles as we can on it, you know. Just gas, it's crazy.
And you're telling us this is not your first AMG, right?
No, see, I had a 2004 E55 with the M113K in it, and those are sweet. Those are awesome cars, you know. Yeah, so try to protect the paint as much as possible. I'm a detailer on the side, so there's only so much I can do to the paint to protect it. So I'm actually gonna probably go get it wrapped here and hopefully protect the paint as much as we can, you know, do some infotainment, new screen add-ons, just some general maintenance stuff, you know. I'm not too crazy about performance, but the cosmetic is my biggest thing.
Yeah. What are you, your wheel setup? What are you running?
These are 4-stars. I think they're like CF50s, I think. Don't quote me on those, but they're 8.5 up front, 9.5 by 19. You know, so it's a 235/35 up front, and then a 265/30/19 in the rear. Yeah, so you got to get as much kind of tire contact as you possibly can with these things. They're definitely crazy, you know.
Yeah, I seen that you had carbon seats. Did that come stock as well?
No, so we just did like a full interior, exterior carbon, you know, just tastefully on the outside. It looks boring on the outside, but if you guys go inside, it's pretty crazy because you get, we did like, I think factory, they come with silver trim, and then we switched them out for carbon, and if you look at the back seats, they're gonna have carbon fiber trays that kind of fit on it, and when the sun hits it, it's just unbelievable.
Nice.
You know, it looks really good. We did the whole center and everything like that, so we try to go all out with it, you know.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you have any stories with this car?
Probably buying it. It was probably a pain in the ass to buy it, you know, because I got it for pretty cheap. These things normally, you know, they're not that known in the 63 world, so they kind of sell for just amount of a regular C63. I found this in Colorado from Auto Trader, and it was, I got it for 25 out the door with tax and everything like that.
Wow.
They didn't know what they had. They just thought it was like a basic C63, but now, you know, they're going for 40 plus, you know, now with the crazy car market and everything. And, you know, with production numbers, and I'm trying to push people toward production numbers for these 204s because there's some that are very rare, you know, and getting the message out to people, it's kind of like expanding and gaining value, you know, and trying to buy it, trying to get registration for it. It took me like maybe 1.5 years to try to get registration for this thing because they kept sending it to the DMV to Sacramento, and then they're not getting it. Had to go get it reprinted twice. It's definitely crazy, you know. But other fun times, you know, just going with the canyon with the buds, you know. All my friends are JDM guys, so showing what the German muscle cars can do, it's pretty great. Especially when you got sound on them. You know, they sound like the 2Js, you know, and the RBs, they sound good. But nothing beats a naturally aspirated V8, you know, definitely a 6.2, you know. That's what this one has, the M156 in it.
I see.
Yeah.
Do you like roll or dig racing by any chance?
Yeah, so I love to hang out with my buds and, you know, go out, or whenever I see like, you know, a BMW, those pesky BMW guys, you know who I'm talking about, dude. You know, I try to do it in the safest possible way. You know, I try to keep my car like as clean as possible, but you know, if the deed needs to be done, it needs to be done. You know, but yeah, I'm more of like a kind of like a 40-year-old kind of guy.
Okay.
You know, these things just they just spin out, dude. They're not good with traction. You know, they call them the Germany Mustangs, so it kind of puts a lot in perspective right there. You know, but they're pretty sweet. You know.
What do you feel about like the BMW guys?
Oh, dude, those guys are crazy, dude. Different breeds, definitely. You know, you got the Volkswagen Audi guys that are kind of just like, yeah, they're mid. You know, Then you go to the BMW guys, they think they're better than everybody else, dude. I'm talking about the 335 guys, even the 320, 28s, dude. You know what I'm talking about, dude. You guys think you're all the shit, dude, but you guys can go around your twisty canyons, that's cool, but I want to see you guys on the Autobahn. You know, try to go 200, bro. Personally, I went on a close track, of course, you know, 163, you know, but similar mods to this, and actually the same tune and everything, you can get them to 200.
No way.
Yeah, you can get them on 200, but, you know, I try to stay away from all that crazy stuff. Yeah. Well, my old E55, I probably went like 173. That was the fastest going to Vegas.
Oh, that was your old one?
Yeah, my old one, the supercharged one. Those things are fucking fast, dude.
Oh, so you did have another one.
Yeah, so I had three 204s. I had a pre-facelift 63, and then a W204 C250 coupe. But then my first AMG was going to be the W211 E55.
Okay.
That was my first one.
Oh, that was your first one.
Yeah, and those things are just awesome cars, dude. Talk about gaining value, it's crazy.
And the one that you had boosted, same body, correct?
The 211? No, this one's a 204. 211 is the big body E-Class. It came out to like 03 to 09. You know, they're the older ones, but it had a M1 or M113K in it. Okay. So it's like an old generation V8 with a supercharger slapped on it. Smaller pulley and everything like that. I think mine was at like 600 horsepower in it. So it's definitely fun when you're trying to keep up with Hellcats. This thing can't keep up with Hellcats, but you know, it sounds good doing it. You know, trying to at least.
Would you say that was your fastest car to date?
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah, that thing just pulled and pulled, you know, and plus you get the supercharger line. Just before here, I was in a Durango Hellcat, and I can't even express to you that it reminds me so much of my 55. Absolutely crazy. They're awesome cars.
Did you could hear the whine on your Mercedes too?
Oh yeah, yeah. And if you do like 3-inch intake tubes all the way down, you can hear it from like a mile away, that supercharger whine. It's pretty nuts. Nice. Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Why'd you get rid of it?
It's time to move on, I guess, you know. And plus I was like, guess it's time to get a more bigger boy car.
I see.
You know, and I'm just like, these things are just like exactly what I needed, which is like, you know, it's not as heavy. You don't have to deal with the Airmatic. Plus you got one of the best sounding naturally aspirated V8s in the world. You know, especially when you put long tubes on it, it's absolutely killer. And, you know, and it's just my calling, you know. I'm just so used to these 204s that it's kind of like a staple, you know. Yeah. That's what hopefully's next, you know.
Yeah. And can you talk about the carbon on the outside? Is that something that you did, or? Yeah.
So I should have said it earlier, but the car was actually bone stock when I got it. Okay. Literally, the only things that was done to the car was just painted on the fog light down here. But, you know, added a spoiler, mid-fin diffuser in the rear with the Black Series front lip style. It's basically all I wanted to do to it, you know, because if you start changing the mirror caps, you lose like the specialty of the paint, you know, and it kind of contrasts too much. My other C250 had like a bunch of carbon hood, trunk, carbon fiber everywhere. And I kind of deviated from that, you know. I kind of learned my lesson a little bit, you know.
How about your next car?
That's always a tough one, dude. You know, you can't go backwards in the car world. You know, you go backwards, you're falling behind, you can't do it. Since I'm so big into the 204 world, I'm trying to find a Black Series. That's what the ultimate goal is. I think that's when I could die happy. You know, and I shot with a couple of Black Series. I know a couple owners of them, they're nice guys. And those cars are just absolutely crazy. You know, and they're skyrocketing price. You know, I think like when I was considering looking at one, it was about 120 grand. You know, and they're just gaining value. You know, there's only 77 of those things made. So it's kind of tough to find it, but once you find it, it's kind of like those forever cars. You know, and since I'm so big into the chassis, you know, as BMW guys are and every other car brand, you know, it's just one of those things where it's like you kind of have to hold it forever. You know, that's the ultimate one. Yeah. Yeah, you know, it has a lot of similarities to this one, but way better on track, a little bit of performance with the internal SLS mods that are on it. It's just great.
Do you have any mods done to this car?
Yeah, so what we got is long tube headers. These are American Racing headers to it. I believe it's 3-inch all the way to the mufflers. So no cats, no resonators, stock C63 mufflers. These mufflers are really desirable. They call them magic mufflers in the Mercedes world because they just change the exhaust note for any Mercedes. So they're really desirable. you know, with a Eurocharge tune, and we want to put an LSD in it eventually. You know, but that's pretty low on my expectations of right now, but we're just trying to enjoy it for what it is, I guess. Because I think we just put KWV3s on it. You know, one of the ultimate suspensions on the car. Got a corner balance lined, and it drives great. You know, it drives, I don't want to say BMW territory because I'm going to get a lot of flack to it. Handles like a Black Series. That's the best way to do it. Same suspension as a Black Series, so.
Is there any cars that you have ran that you are kind of, I guess, surprised that you beat?
Well, BMW's not so much. Yeah. Yeah, BMW's not so much. You know, I've seen some fast Audis for sure. You know, off dig, they got you all day. You know, they're all-wheel drive. But there's some on there that are pretty quick. You know, I raced the RS3. Those things don't mess around.
Yeah,
You know, but you know, you get the snack packs. You know, that's nothing. You know, but then you get into like, you know, some boosted, supposed to be NA cars that you're kind of shocked about.
Yeah.
When you line up to it, and then you just hear a turbo spool or you hear a supercharger going, and you're like, I'm in for a ride, dude. You know, so it's definitely crazy. But yeah, I'd probably say anything kind of surprises me if, you know, if it's done correctly. You know, especially when I hang out with guys that have Supras, you know, FDs and stuff like that. So I know that kind of these things are sleepers, but it's part of the fun, I guess. You know.
So you would say that this is a German muscle car, basically.
This is the pinnacle of German muscle. Like this is it. You know, it's Germany's Mustang, rear end falls around everywhere. A couple of viral videos, as you may see, with 63s kind of going other places. But rear wheel drive, 6.2 naturally aspirated dual overhead cam, variable valve timing V8. You can't beat it. You know, and that's what makes it the muscle car of Germany.
That sounds like heaven.
Dude, it is a blessing that I get to drive it every day, or try to. You know, because I daily drive a PT Cruiser.
Okay.
Every day. You know, and then I come into this thing, and it's a whole different world.
Yeah.
You know, talk about catfish. Yeah. For real.
All right. Well, any shout outs? Anything you want to say?
I guess if you want to follow my Instagram, if you want to see some cool pictures, it's at SoCal204. SoCal204. Just posting just regular photos and cool stories, what I do with the car. And shout out to Daddy Jimmy, dude. That guy is the homie. And shout out to you guys, man. You guys are awesome. You guys are very professional, and you guys did great here. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, I guess we'll see you in the canyons.
Of course. See you there.
Yeah. Yeah. This that West Side Crenshaw bumping.